The Trails series has always had a bit of a reputation. It's known for its massive world building, these long multi-game story arcs, and obviously if you know anything about the Trails series, it has some of the most dedicated fans in the JRPG community. And for a lot of people, it can feel intimidating to even know where to start. That's why this new remake, Trails in the Sky First Chapter, is such a big deal, especially to me. It's a game that kicked off everything back in the early 2000s, now rebuilt from the ground up for modern platforms. So in this video, I'm just going to share like my first 15 hours worth of impressions, not necessarily like a full-length, in-depth review. This is more geared towards people who are maybe curious about the Trails series, have never played a game, and are wondering if a game that is something like this long is worthwhile buying. Now, before we get to that, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment your thoughts down below. I would love to hear from you guys, whether or not you've played a Trails game, or if you have, or you're a Trails veteran, let me know. But otherwise, let's get to the review. This is, honestly, it's shaping up to be something really interesting. So the original Trails in the Sky came out like the early 2000s, and it's still considered to be one of the most important JRPGs of its era, thanks to the great writing and the world building. And for a series to get as many games as it has, and the dedicated fan base that it has, I mean, it's going to have some great writing and world building. Now, this remake appears to be more than just like a fresh coat of paint. It's been totally rebuilt with modern visuals, modern character models, and fully voiced cast as well. One of the things that first jumped out at me was how much personality this game has. The environments of the game feel alive, with, you know, towns that are full of people doing things that you can talk to as well. You can even go inside the houses and stuff. I mean, typical JRPG stuff. It feels a little bit cozy in that regard. And plus, the dungeons also carry that classic JRPG vibe. And the soundtrack is absolutely stand out so far. It's upbeat when it needs to be. It's calm when you're exploring. It's one of those soundtracks that make even the simple things like just walking on the overworld map feel really engaging. And the character animation deserves some praise as well. They're really expressive and often funny, giving you a sense of who these people are without really needing paragraphs of dialogue. You can get a good read on these characters straight away. And that goes a long way, especially in a game with this much text. And most importantly, the dialogue itself is not cringy at all. It's lighthearted, it's charming, it's genuinely enjoyable, which helps with the slower story beats. You know, it even feels worthwhile sticking through stuff like that. Now let's talk about the battle system, because this is where I was most surprised. This game uses a hybrid combat style that mixes action and turn-based battle systems. So on the field, you can attack enemies directly for some quick fights, perfect for clearing out some weaker enemies. But when you enter a full battle, things switch to kind of like a grid-based, like it's almost like, I mean, you're free to roam around a certain circle. You can still tweak that turn-based format where positioning and tactics matter. What's smart here is that both systems serve a purpose. If you're lower level or fighting something tougher, turn-based battles give you the room to think. And if you're over-leveled, you can breeze through enemies in just a few hits in action mode, which saves a lot of time. In fact, that I noticed turn-based battles, you often deal more damage per hit, so it feels really balanced rather than just like tacked on. And for somebody like me who values efficient play sessions, this flexibility is a serious lifesaver. I can sit down for 20 minutes, clear a dungeon, or progress the story and feel like I'm actually accomplishing something without being dragged into constant drawn-out battles. And the dungeons here really reminded me of Persona or even Metaphor ReFantazio. They're super straightforward but have just enough variety to keep you engaged. There's some branching paths, some treasure chests tucked away, and enough encounters to challenge you without being overwhelming. And again, this works great for shorter bursts. You can jump in, make some progress, and then take on the dungeon without it taking a ton of time. This is something that I really appreciate in a modern JRPG. And by the way, if you're enjoying this review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because almost 90% of the people that watch my channel on the regular are not subscribed. And story-wise, things start off pretty simple, but there are some seeds being planted away that hint at something bigger. The pacing in the early hours is a little bit of a slow burn, but it's just steady enough to feel like I wasn't wasting my time. Estelle, obviously one of the main characters here, is especially fun. She's got this mix of energy, clumsiness, and heart that makes her really, really likable. Now, if there's one caveat, it's that the game throws a lot of tutorials and mechanics at you right away. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve here, and if you're new to JRPGs, yes, it might feel overwhelming, but the systems are layered in gradually, and once things click, they're actually quite rewarding. And on the flip side, the game does respect your time more than a lot of RPGs do. The hybrid combat helps cut down on repetition, the dialogue is sharp enough to keep you entertained, and the pacing doesn't feel like it's dragging. The combination here really makes it surprisingly easy to stick with, even when playing in shorter bursts like I have been. Now, to give you guys some perspective here and why I'm kind of framing my review of whether or not you should buy this is because I'm a parent who works pretty much full-time, so finding time for games is tough. And for me, the first 10 to 15 hours of any game are absolutely crucial. That's where I decide if something is going to stick or if I have to move on. So I really wanted to give you a sense of whether or not this game is worth your time from the start, especially if you're like me and don't have dozens of free hours every week. And to be completely transparent, I've never played a Trails game before, so this is my very first one. And the most interesting thing here is, even though I've been playing in shorter bursts, this game hasn't lost my interest at all. It feels like it's been designed with that kind of flexibility in mind. You can play in a shorter burst or longer burst and still feel like you're engaged in the story. So for me personally, this remake is really hitting the sweet spot. It's approachable without being shallow, and it rewards both longer sessions and quick play bursts. I've played plenty of RPGs that felt like chores when trying to break into small chunks, but Trails in the Sky First Chapter has not given me that issue at all. If anything, bite-sized progress actually makes me want to keep coming back. So would I recommend Trails in the Sky First Chapter? I mean, if you're curious about the series, and if you're like me and you value games that seem to respect your time, especially when time is limited, the answer is an obvious yes. A mix of strong writing, flexible combat, and the approachable pacing makes this a really great entry point into the Trails series. I mean, this is coming from somebody who's never played a Trails game to begin with, but obviously being labeled First Chapter, yeah, it seems like an obvious great entry point. And even if this does take me 60 to 80 hours to complete, I really don't see it being a chore, even at the pace that I've been playing. What's really impressive in my opinion about this remake is how it really balances that classic JRPG depth with modern quality of life updates. With some older games, especially ones that have been remastered to play today in 2025, kind of feels a little bit clunky. But Trails in the Sky First Chapter manages to feel fresh and accessible without, I guess, losing the soul of what made that original game unique and special to fans of the series. The hybrid combat, the updated visuals, the really great and intuitive UI make it easy to enjoy, even if you haven't touched like a traditional JRPG in years. For me, that combination really makes it stand out. It's a reminder that a game doesn't need flashy gimmicks to be engaging. I mean, yes, this game is visually very pleasing and very fun to play, but it just really needs to respect your time and let you dive into the world at your own pace. I feel like the game was really inviting me along for the ride, which makes it a really great jumping on point if you've always been curious about the series or really never knew where to start. So after all the hours I've put in so far, just like sub 20 hours, I'm really excited to see where the story is going. It's getting very interesting. It's very fun to play, even in shorter bursts, whether I'm playing remote play on like PlayStation Portal or even like through my computer. It's been great. It's working flawlessly. I'm honestly really enjoying my time here. So thanks so much to Gung Ho for providing me with a review code as well for this one. Really stoked to be able to jump into this series that I've looked at and been really overwhelmed with, because I just never really knew where to go. Where's a great entry point? But this is a great entry point, and I can honestly tell you that I'm actually trying to rush through the reviews so I can get back to this game, because oftentimes if I get review codes, I play them, put the video out, maybe sometimes I don't touch the games after that point, but I'm really keen to see where the story goes, and I cannot stop thinking about the combat. It's just so fun, so satisfying. I know that you are going to love it. Should you buy it? Yes, I would absolutely recommend you guys picking it up, especially right now. I mean, today's the release day if you're watching this video on release day. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Have you played Trails? Are you going to pick this game up? I would be interested to know. Anyway, we'll see you guys on another video next week. Bye-bye.